We're back, Czabe and Butch in the morning. Joining us now, our friend Kimmy Hansen from the Whiskey Bells. They'll be joining us at Sunburn Bowl 6 in Jamaica. You can watch them, go see their awesome show. Next up at Fawn Creek Winery, Saturday and Sunday, 3:30 p.m. And Sunday is Kevin Hansen's big fundraiser benefiting two fallen soldiers from the 115th Fighter Wing in Madison. So that's good as well. Kimmy, good morning, dear. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. Well, the day started out a lot better than it has turned out to be because I legit thought it was Friday.
Why?
I don't know.
So go ahead, make fun of her like you did me this morning, Czabe. Go ahead.
Why? Because you were cranky this morning. You didn't want to be awake today. Kimmy just thought
I thought maybe it was Friday.
Yeah. No, and besides, Kimmy is our valued guest.
I know. I just take the abuse
You are
every
the
day.
designated punching bag. There's the difference right there. So you thought it was Friday today.
I did.
Interesting. Premature Friday. I believe that's a condition that happens frequently around holiday weekends. People are all excited.
So.
This is a huge weekend in Wisconsin, right? The last weekend of the summer.
Oh, yeah.
People get after it hard. They go up to their cottages.
Oh, yeah.
They make sure to get in their last shots of fishing, golf, etc.
We're going to have about 50 people up at the cottages this Saturday. All family, though. Family, nice little family get-together.
All right. So your husband does a fundraiser for two fallen soldiers for the 115th Fighter Wing?
Yes, he does. This is the fourth year. He's raised $29,400 so far, and he's hoping for another $10,600 to make it an even $40,000.
Wow, that's fantastic. Awesome. Now, what does he do to raise the funds? Is it part of your concert with the Whiskey Bells on Sunday?
Yep. Yes. We'll do. There'll be live music. There's going to be 50-50 raffles all day. Which for $20, a Kevin Hansen arm span. He's not quite as tall as Butchie, but he's up there. So. He's got quite the span. We've got all kinds of raffle items, silent. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be super awesome. So,
all right, you were listening yesterday to my Tough Cut segment, and you were texting in going ooh ooh ooh, and you had some thoughts on that. I said, hey, when we talk to you tomorrow, you could whip up some tough cuts and maybe some musical tough cuts.
Yeah.
Do you have them for us to mull over right now?
I do. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right. First up, I want to know AC/DC, Kiss, or Rolling Stones? You have to do without one, right?
You can get rid of all three for me.
Wow.
Same.
Yeah, what? Yeah, did you hear that?
We know why Brian has no male friends.
Did you hear what Kimmy? Did you hear what she said?
No.
Same for me.
Same.
Boom. I would say Stones. I would say Stones because I've heard all their stuff. So for me, it'd be Stones. Okay. You guys would cut them all. So you would pull a Goody, as we like to say, who cut all his kickers in the last 2 days. He just said, you and you, I hate both of you. Get out. Okay. What did I do, Goody? You missed kicks in August. You made me, as the GM, look like a fool. You're out. Who are you going to get? You need somebody to kick. I'll get a rookie off who's been cut off another team.
Nerf Dog legend.
The Nerf Dog. Nailed it. Okay. All right. Next.
Love it, Kimmy.
Next one, Kimmy.
All right. Drummers. Neil Peart, Dave Grohl, or John Bonham?
Okay. This one is right in my wheelhouse. You know, I'm a drummer from back in the day.
Yeah.
They're all excellent drummers. Neil Peart, though, is the GOAT. So he's on the team. It now comes down to Grohl versus Bonham, and I would probably go Bonham. So Grohl is out. No offense to Dave Grohl, but it'd be Bonham and Peart.
Okay.
Butchie doesn't know who we're talking about.
No idea
so we
who
move on.
any of them are.
Right.
What?
This is
I'm
no idea who that
I
is.
get to know him.
I'm disappointed, but
I know. I'm not a big music.
Music's not his thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, moving on then.
Yes.
Now, if you want to know wing defenders in the G League, Butchie will go.
I might know those. Yeah.
Yes. Right. 3-and-D guys that are currently playing in Europe, he's got you there. Drummers on popular bands? No.
Probably not.
Not so much. All right.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right.
Next.
Concert seating. Grass, pit, or reserved seats?
Wow. Okay. This is a good one. The grass is the most relaxed, and you have the best chance of getting some if you're there with a lady friend. If you're a guy or if you're a gal and you go that way, I don't care. So the grass has the potential for the most fun, but the quality of the music that is washing over you is at the poorest because it's traveled the furthest, right? The pit is the most immersive experience, but you probably, if you're smart, want to wear some kind of earplugs because it's not healthy to be right up there without anything protecting your eardrums, but it's the most immersive. Right. What? Huh? What? And then the what'd you say? The reserved seating, which would be the luxury seats that have the private bar and, the best view. I'd say the lawn is out for me. I will generally want to be as close to the stage as possible, no matter what.
Yes, Kevin calls me.
She didn't answer the question.
No, I said out is lawn.
Yeah.
What's out? Tough cut. One of the three out. Butchie?
The pit's out for me. I'm too tall.
Too tall. Exactly. That's what I thought. Okay. Next.
The short people of the world appreciate that, Butchie.
Yes.
All right. I have one last one. You ready?
Yeah.
Songs. Margaritaville, Brown Eyed Girl, or Sweet Caroline?
Oh, Brown Eyed Girl's out. Don't care for that song.
Margaritaville's gone.
No.
Yes.
Boo on you. Well, good thing you're not going to Sunburn Bowl, and Kimmy is, and the Whiskey Bells, and Mike Keller, because we're going to have a grand time. We were going to get into some stories of past Jamaica trips. You actually went to Hedonism 3 back in the day.
I did.
Oh, okay. Save that for another visit, okay, Kimmy?
Perfect.
Okay, very good. Kimmy Hansen and the Whiskey Bells will be at Fawn Creek Winery Saturday and Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Where is Fawn Creek Winery?
It is in the Wisconsin Dells. In the
Dells, baby. So go see him and help support her husband's awesome fundraiser benefiting two fallen soldiers from the 115th Fighter Wing based out of Madison. Thank you, Kimmy.
Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Don't forget, stock up with Palermo's, Butchie. Your freezer is calling for it.
It's calling for it. Why? Because it's delicious. It's great. The toppings, you get more than enough toppings. My kids love them. Your kids will love it. You should love it. Get it in your local grocer's frozen food aisle. That's where you can find it. That's where our family finds it. We love it. Get yourself some Palermo's.
Coming up, the most important fantasy football segment of the year. It's the one probably before your draft. Paul Charchian of GuillotineLeagues.com is up next. All right, not our usual fantasy football intro for Paul Charchian, director of leagues at guillotineleagues.com. Good morning, Charch. How are you today? Oh, don't have them yet. Okay. All right. Well, then I'll start with this. Headline. A sexually frustrated dolphin is accused of assaulting and injuring 45 people in Osaka Bay, Japan, Butchie. The bottlenose dolphin is accused of going on a multi-year sexual assault rampage, trying to have sex with beachgoers about 200 miles west of Tokyo. A sexually frustrated dolphin.
You said it was Osaka?
No, it's Wasaka Bay, Japan. But when I heard, a sexually frustrated dolphin assaulting people, I said, yeah, Tyreek Hill, I'm familiar. See, get it? That's a football joke there. I know. I went a long way for that.
I was curious to see where you're going. Yeah, I didn't go, hey, we don't have charge to. We're going to talk about the sexually frustrated dolphin. No.
Yeah, now you get it. There you go. Okay, Lenny, what's going on, brother? Oh, okay. All right, in the meantime, Brewers win yesterday 5-3 as we say good morning. Happy hour number 3. Czabe and Butch in the morning. William Contreras, big bomb late. That was awesome. Brought the head down. They put up a number 11 on the Jumbotron where Chorio knocked the pixel out. So both the pixels are fixed, and there is now a pixel sticker, Butchie. What is that?
That's Chart trying to get situated. There's a little heavy breathing going on there.
Oh, okay, you guys, all this sexually frustrated dolphin talk
going on. And look at the camera; it's upside down. It's okay. Take Charch out for a quick second. What is going on today? Brewers win 5-3. Contreras bomb. You saw where they put up a fake sticker where he hit the Jumbotron. I'm telling you, they should do that for every Brewer, not opposing players, but every Brewer who hits the Jumbotron, they should put.
I think it'd be awesome.
Stickers. That would be very cool. Outside of Camden Yards in Baltimore on Utah Street, they have little placards, on the sidewalk where the very few home runs have ever landed outside the ballpark. Okay,
should be ready to go.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Entirely my fault. Sorry.
So difficult. What happened?
For whatever reason, I followed the link into our little shared StreamYard right here. And what happens? Computer just freezes. Mouse won't work. Computers just froze. I have static screens. I'm like, oh God, I got to reboot. So I reboot the computer. Then I'm like, hey, I'll just jump on my phone. So I follow the link and I open StreamYard on my phone. And set the phone down, which is why you were looking at my ceiling, which is not the first time that you've been on your back looking at my ceiling in my house, Czabe. And
hearing heavy breathing and growling.
Exactly. There's a lot of me going, what the bleep is going on? And so by then, you guys are grousing about that. So then my computer comes back on.
Frustrated dolphin.
Yes. I'm a sexually frustrated Viking fan.
You guys are going to suck this year.
It's going to be bad. It's going to be
4 wins
in all probability.
I got you down for 4 wins.
Where are you finding the 4? We're a pick 'em in week 1 against the Giants.
Oof.
And then we are favored 3 times this year by Vegas right now, given the odds across all 17 weeks.
Does Sam Darnold last the whole year, 17-17?
A few quarterbacks do, but here's the thing. We don't have an adequate backup, so he'll have to be unbelievably bad, even by Darnold's standards, before we're going to bench him. Nick Mueller.
Don't worry, he's got that covered.
Yeah, it's in the repertoire.
I give it 9 weeks. By week 10, you're starting somebody else. Not because you think he's better, just because you're so sick of Sam Darnold. You're like, sit down. Just sit down. Kind of like what Goody did with his kickers yesterday. Said, I hate both of you. Get out.
Which I respect that, by the way. No problem with that.
Thank you.
If this were a different station, I would not drill down on the Minnesota Vikings. But as you know, if we're talking Vikings, we're talking Packers. And we talk about this all the time on our side. We're talking Packers, we're talking Vikings. Yes. Here's why week 9 might be optimistic. The Vikings schedule, they have a pick'em game against New York first, but then listen to what's coming up next. San Francisco, Houston, my Super Bowl team, Green Bay, and then the Jets, and then bye. So maybe they squeak out a win against New York in New York. They lose the next 4 in all probability. They roll into their bye week into week 6. They're in week 6, and they're looking at a week 7 game with 1 win. That might be the change right there.
Wow. Okay. But you do have a rookie kicker, like we now do as well.
We do. This kid's great. Will Reichert. He set the all-time FBS scoring record for kickers. He is believed to be fantastic, and he has lit up our camp in our preseason games. He has been everything that we could hope. We spent draft equity on a kicker, and it might work. It wasn't Sebastian Janikowski draft equity. You'll remember the Raiders one year put a first rounder into Sebastian Janikowski.
We've talked about it. I'm probably the only guy that thinks kickers are the value they have is greater than what most people think. Because I look at us, if you look at all the Super Bowl winning teams, they've had a guy that's been lights out for them. Like it really has been. Czabe thinks I'm nuts for believing in kickers as much.
Kicker's going to gain you, let's say, even Czabe, I think, would agree. The delta between a good and bad kicker will gain you 1.5 wins a year.
Not
thank you, Charch. Thank you. Tell him. Help him,
Show
please.
me your math on that.
Help him.
I do not have math readily available, but we've all been through the heartbreak of missed field goals. We've all seen what happens when your kicker knocks in the 58-yarder that he wasn't supposed to make. That's a big difference. I feel like 1 or 2 games a year come down to that, and that's games. Okay. Every win is worth a lot in the NFL, and good kicker gets you. Now that's a delta between a good and bad kicker. 1.5 wins. The delta between an average kicker and a good kicker might only be half a win, but still, that's half a win.
Still a big deal in the NFL.
All right, for you guys who are kicker truthers, and I personally don't ever want the Packers drafting a kicker or a punter ever again. They made the mistake with J.K. Scott. He ended up being a pretty decent kicker once he got cut from us, a punter. But then now they draft a kicker and they cut him, and he'll land somewhere else. He'll be in the league for quite a while. Yeah, I believe he'll knock around the league like a turd that doesn't flush the drain. He'll just pop up every now and then.
That's how you had to phrase it.
He's a I don't know. Pick something less,
repellent,
insulting, right? But you know what they did in New England on Tuesday? They cut their kicker, who they drafted in the 4th round, high 4th round pick, Chad Ryland. Oh, we got to draft this guy. 4th round pick in New England. Just cut him for Joey Sly, who's been in and out of every team like the town whore in football. These kickers don't matter. But good for
all right,
your
enough
rookie.
Kickers.
We
Let's
got a
talk
rookie.
Fantasy.
We'll see your rookie. We got a rookie. Okay. Yeah. You also sent us a photo you wanted to talk about real quick, which looks like it's a guy lying prone being attended to by a paramedic underneath a tree that's been split in half and charred by a lightning strike.
So let me tell you about the text message I got from my friend Zach. My friend Zach texts me and says, and I don't know if you guys got any part of the storm that ripped through the Twin Cities on Sunday night. Maybe you guys hit it. Some of that.
We absolutely did. Yes.
Yeah. We had 80-mile-an-hour winds. It was crazy. So here's the text I get. I was helping my dad clean up trees from the storm Monday, and a 1,000-pound tree fell on me. You guys can see the tree. Listeners cannot. And I thought it crushed every bone in my body. My parents miraculously lifted it off me, and I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, not knowing what happened. After they gave me fentanyl, I realized I was on the clock in our guillotine league, so I made my pick from the ambulance.
Yes.
I ended up fracturing 5 ribs, my collarbone, and I had a punctured lung, but I made my pick. I thought you'd like to hear about my dedication to our guillotine league.
Wow.
I like
that. Is dedication right there.
Well, so who'd he pick? Picked Browns running back Donta Foreman, who promptly got cut the next day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk running backs for a second, because Kyren Williams and Kyren Williams owners,
yes,
for the Rams could be screwed, blued, and tattooed. Tell them why, Charge.
Kyren Williams was one of the best Cinderella stories last year, undrafted in most leagues, finished as a top 10 running back because the Rams didn't give the ball to anybody else. He was the only guy with a pulse there. But this year is different and feels highly dangerous, punctuated by Monday's revelation that Kyren Williams, your starting running back, is going to return punts?
No!
WTF? What lead running back returns punts? Okay. So, last year, he got all the workload. This year, in the offseason, the Rams drafted Michigan star running back Blake Corum, scored 61 touchdowns at Michigan. And of note, Corum has gotten 0 preseason snaps, which with the Rams means you are firmly in that starters group.
Yes.
They don't anybody who's important doesn't touch the ball in the preseason. Blake Corum, not on the field. So for me, it's a little bit of panic time on Williams. He's right now going off the board at running back 8. That is running back 8. I need a lot more assurances than this. It looks like a candidate for a split backfield and maybe doesn't get goal line use because Corum's great there. So some concern here with Kyren Williams.
Right. I saw a stat that said the only running back to have returned more than 10 punts and also averaged close to 20 carries a game is Alvin Kamara. That's it.
Wow.
That's the list. So what Sean McVay is proposing is virtually unprecedented. The only exception is Alvin Kamara.
Yeah.
I think it's nuts to have any valuable player who's a star wide receiver or running back returning punts. That is crash, dummy, suicide mission job.
Right.
Your
punt returner, a valuable guy. Your running back is a valuable guy. Your punt returner, as 11 defenders are running full bore at him, he has his head at the roof looking at a ball. Anything could happen. Anything could go wrong. It seems like a really bad idea. Adrian Peterson's rookie year, he was a kick returner for about 4 games. And then they went, you know what? Maybe this is not the best idea. Maybe we should really save his reps for running back.
Yeah. Antonio Brown returned punts for the Steelers for a good spell.
A long time. Tyreek
Hill
still
Tyreek Hill does. Hurdled a guy and then kicked the punter right in the neck as he was coming down, which led to some of the most awesome visual assets ever captured in glorious high definition. Yes. Okay, let's get to the questions. You got questions for your fantasy leagues. By the way, you can sign up for Guillotine Leagues right now. Public leagues, private leagues. Private leagues are free now. GuillotineLeagues.com. The interface is very simple. I got our whiskey league set up and running last night. No problems there. Thank you, Charge, for that. And we are good to go. It's like combining fantasy with survivor pool. You just have to be good enough to advance, and your team gets stronger as the year goes on, as long as you survive, because you can pick up players to help bolster your team. One of the great frustrations of regular fantasy is you have a bad draft.
You're stuck with your team. Yeah.
You're stuck with your team.
Right. Yeah. Not here. You have a bad draft. Well, Christian McCaffrey's on the waiver wire, so go bid and go get Christian McCaffrey if you have a bad draft. There's a lot of ways around this.
We're hearing of the struggles of Richardson and the Colts. What does that mean for Pittman? And where would you draft him?
Pittman or Richardson? Pittman.
Yeah,
I still like him. He's a big-bodied receiver, lots of great control. He can get separation for a big guy, which you don't often get. Right now, going off the board in round 4 of fantasy drafts, he's my number 12 ranked wide receiver. So I still like him here. I'm making the assumption Anthony Richardson's going to get better. We only had the small sample size, like 4 healthy games last year.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm going to presume that he's going to get better in year 2 and that Pittman's going to be at least okay. I'd like to think he can be at least what he was with Gardner Minshew last year when he was roughly wide receiver 12.
Justin Jefferson paid, CeeDee Lamb paid. Ayuk still angling for a trade. No movement there. And now Jamar Chase wants money, and he showed up at Bengals practice in street clothes 15 minutes after the practice began. So his disgruntlement is becoming more and more clear. From a fantasy standpoint, how do you handle a situation like this? Do you just plow ahead, assuming it's all going to get worked out?
For non-guillotine leagues, yes, we're just plowing ahead. And if there's a bump in the road, it's likely to only materialize itself in the first week of the season, either because he signed so late or he just eventually acquiesces and comes to camp, and maybe his workload in week 1 is down. Now, in a guillotine league, it's a little more severe because I don't want to get chopped week 1 because Jamar Chase didn't play. So a little more significant there. But it's been a long time since we've had a protracted holdout. Le'Veon Bell. I mean, it just seems we've seen this happen every year. It's always a couple of different guys, and almost always the player either gets his new deal or he gives up and doesn't want to turn his back on getting paid the money he's going to get paid in the regular season. The sneakier holdout that should affect fantasy players, I think, and the one that's way more dangerous that nobody's talking about. San Francisco 49ers have their left tackle, Trent Williams holding out. And he is great, and he's the only good guy they've got. So you'll remember, he's a principled man. He held out from Washington for a year when they misdiagnosed his cancer, and he did not trust that front office. And he's way richer now. He'll hold out on principle. And I'm going to give you the 5 names that the Niners are going to, I'm going to give you 5 names. These guys are either the San Francisco starting offensive line right now without Trent Williams, or 5 guys in San Francisco emo band Platypus Scourge. You can decide which. Jalen Moore, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Dominic Pooney, and Colton McKivitz.
That's definitely Platypus Scourge.
Platypus Scourge. That's your offensive line. That's your offensive line for the 49ers right now without Trent Williams.
Yes, the Brock Purdy splits on with Trent, without Trent are stark. I've seen those number splits. They're not good without him protecting his backside. And with Ayuk hold out, oh, man, I am anticipating a great Niner unraveling this year, and I am here for it.
It
with
could
coffee
happen.
in hand, popcorn in my lap. Let's go, Charge. Are you here for the Niner unraveling?
I can't get myself to hate the Niners. I can't. They've, look
Don't
at what they've.
I'll send you a pamphlet.
What have they done wrong to garner hate except be good, Czabe?
They're insufferable. That's a whole different story.
Yeah. Charge, quick question here. When you look at the NFC North, how do you evaluate the running backs in the NFC North? Because you've got 4, you think 4 pretty good ones there.
Yeah. Let's start with your team. Josh Jacobs looks more and more like the workhorse back, especially early in the year, and going off the board probably too late, around running back 16, 17, 18 in fantasy drafts. I like Josh Jacobs as just a volume guy who's going to get goal line carries. And, Marshawn Lloyd missed a bunch of time here that would have been really important developmental time. And of course, A.J. Dillon's season is over. So Josh Jacobs looking at a bunch of carries. I like him. Aaron Jones getting taken very close to Josh Jacobs, but you get a part-time back. You guys know all about it. You really, his touch load is capped in the 12, 14 touch range. And as dynamic as he is, it's hard to power big box scores on that few carries. In Detroit, people are getting this all wrong. Jahmyr Gibbs is going at the very top of drafts, end of first rounds, that high, end of first rounds for a split time committee back with David Montgomery, who's going in the 5th round, 6th round of drafts. Yeah. David Montgomery gets the touchdowns in this offense, yet he was 2nd in the NFL in touchdown carries or goal line carries last year. So of the 2, I'd much rather have Montgomery in the 6th round than Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round. And then there's the Bears, and I think one of the great unheralded potential fantasy guys, DeAndre Swift, is going to get the vast majority of the workload in what looks to be a dramatically improved offense. Shane Waldron is the new offensive coordinator. He was with the Seahawks for 3 years, and all he did was run Kenneth Walker. He found his guy, and he used Kenneth Walker prodigiously. That looks like it's going to be DeAndre Swift this year.
All right. GuillotineLeagues.com is where you go, as always. And Charch, we look forward to the fantasy season, and good luck to your friend in his recovery. But he's still in the hospital. Still in the hospital, as you can imagine. Still making his draft picks from his phone while Thank you, Charge. Appreciate it.
Thanks, friends. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
There you go. Paul Charchian. He also has Fantasy Football Weekly, the best fantasy football show on the radio or on podcast. Download it wherever you get podcast. Also, it's aired right here on this station on Saturday mornings, to my best of my knowledge. Find that time for me, Luddy, if you don't mind. I would think, Butchie, I would be quick enough and alert enough to dodge a tree falling on me, but I'd probably be wrong, right? They can get down on you quick. Wouldn't you hear the crack and the sway and look up and do a cat quick shoo, and dive out of the way? Do you think you could dodge a tree?
There ain't nothing quick about you.
No?
I've seen you move. There ain't nothing quick about you.
You ever seen free donuts put out on the counter at work? They don't move fast.
That tree.
Then you'll see some movement right there.
Tree's hitting you.
Okay. All right, coming up, we got Matt Mueller back, triumphant return. He changed his regular day job, but he's back with us now on Thursdays, and we look forward to talking to him next. Hey, guys, Abe here for the Russ Darrow Automotive Ah, yes. Oh, I've missed the dulcet swaying tones of Matt Miller's walk-in music. He is a man about film on Twitter, Matt Miller.
You complained so much about that music, and it leaves for a few weeks.
And I miss it.
And you miss
now
it.
It's back. Yeah. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you.
I'm doing great. Feels good. Thursdays feel nice. This is interesting.
They do. Ahead of the final weekend of summer 2024.
Yeah, it's over.
Some people have already experienced premature Friday. Kimmy Hansen from the Whiskey Bells said she experienced premature Friday.
I heard about
Butch
that. Yeah.
experienced don't want to get upism this morning.
Yeah, that happened.
But survived it.
You had Mondays on a Thursday.
Exactly.
Survive in advance, baby.
All right. So in terms of movies in theaters, we're in a dry spell at the moment.
Yeah.
It's low tide as football takes center stage, but there is a slew of movies coming this fall and Christmas season.
Yeah, and honestly, we're in this weird, like the Labor Day kind of end of August period. Kids are going back to school, so none of the studios put out any of their big stuff. This is the new dumping grounds of the blockbuster calendar. Used to be January and February. Now it is end of August, and normally a little bit of September too. But we have Beetlejuice coming out next week, and I think is going to be a massive hit. That's going to make a ton of money, and I'm hoping is good. But it's a Tim Burton movie in the year 2024, so we'll see how that goes for us.
Hold on a second. Beetlejuice, is this the way they announced the sequel to Beetlejuice, just by repeating the name a second time?
Yes, and it is a double down because they have to make a third movie now called Beetlejuice. Obviously, right? You have to make the movie that literally summons Beetlejuice in the name, right?
I guess so. I'm looking ahead to the December movie schedule in theaters.
Yes.
Because there is apparently 2 movies my daughter is keen to see, and they come out the same weekend.
I have a feeling I know which 2.
They're both kids' movies, and this will be the first time ever that she's had to delay one of the 2 movies she looks forward to for months at a time to the next day. But she's resigned herself to that. Do you know what 2 movies she's thinking of?
I imagine Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yes.
And Mufasa, the Lion King.
The Lion King.
Prequel? The live action prequel
right.
to the 2019 movie that made $1 billion, but no one ever speaks of.
Those are coming out the weekend before Christmas. How did the studios not space those out?
Studios get really territorial, and they love playing games of chicken with other studios. They will put 2 very similar movies together and be like, who's going to move? Who's going to blink? Which one of us is going to... And I kind of assume one of them might move, but it's also Christmas. There's so much money to be made around Christmas that I think both of them are like, you know what? We can both just make $1 billion. We could both do extremely well. Thanksgiving was similar. You had the Wicked movie coming out and Moana 2, both coming out on Thanksgiving. And I think Wicked blinked. I think Wicked moved up a weekend.
Did they?
Yeah, because they were like, and also Moana 2, wise choice that was on Wicked's part, because Moana 2 is going to make insane money. It's going to make bonkers money.
Yes.
People are not, that's going to be the Inside Out 2 of the fall, where everyone's going to be like, oh, it'll probably do pretty well, and it's just going to rain dollar bills at Disney.
The movies are back, Mac Miller.
Yeah.
Movies are back.
This has been a really exciting month for the movies being back. We had, obviously Deadpool and Wolverine becoming the highest grossing R-rated movie of all time. But not only that, you had Alien Romulus making a ton of money. You had an R-rated horror movie making money. And you had the Blake Lively movie crossing $100 million, making its money back basically in its opening weekend.
What movie is the Blake Lively movie?
It Ends With Us. It's like a domestic abuse romance movie, which, if that sounds like a weird tonal shift, you would be right.
You would be right. Listen, I'll
weird.
watch Blake Lively on the big screen for 90 minutes doing just about anything. I don't want to see her getting abused domestically, though.
I have other movies to recommend then, not that one.
Oh, really?
But how much money did that make?
That movie has made like $120 million in America alone, and I think it only cost $25 million to make.
Oh, my God.
So it's doing great.
I want to see Blake Lively getting beat up.
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's tastefully done. If there's such a if there
no,
is
it's
such
done in a
way.
sensitive way, showing the horrors of domestic abuse.
Yes, it's
with one of the most beautiful women on the planet.
Yeah, it's not a terrible movie. It's like if a Nicholas Sparks movie had more than one brain cell to rub together. Like that's what that movie is like.
The trailer actually looks halfway decent.
It's pretty solid. Like I took my wife to go see it. Yeah, it was and again, that's a drama for adults, for female audiences, doing well in theaters, a variety of movies, finding success. We love to see it.
Does it end on a happy note? Not to spoil it, but I'm going to spoil it anyway. Is that why it says it ends with us? Because most of these cases in real life ends with a restraining order. Or perhaps a funeral.
It ends positively. It ends
well. Good.
Yeah. It ends with honestly, if it didn't end well, it would not have the money. It would not have made the money it's doing. People don't see movies that end badly.
What was it? Oh, yeah. Okay. But was it as tough as? And I'm thinking of a comparable movie where a super hot actress is in a very tough film to watch,
like Monster or something like that.
No, I'm thinking the ScarJo divorce movie with Kylo Ren.
Oh, Marriage
Remember
Story?
that one?
Yeah, that's a really good movie. That's a
that is a brutal one right there.
Oh yeah, when the fists come out in that movie, when like that movie's acidic when it wants to be. There's the big fight scene in the movie, and it's funny to talk about this domestic drama about how like it's a verbal fight. It is not a literal fight scene like Marvel style. But no, that movie's incredible and really good. It's this is a little different category.
Butchie, do you like Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you ever want to see her like dressed down, being a complete bitch and ruining her ex-husband's life because she just can't go along with his dreams of being a off-Broadway musical director? Go see that movie then.
Okay.
Go watch her run him through the paces of the divorce system and have to have a social worker come into his house and like look at every little thing he's doing with their son to see whether or not he has the right to keep custody.
What is it called
part-time
again?
Custody.
It's called Marriage Story, but also Czabe, you should not get into movie marketing. That is not.
Why? Why did I mischaracterize the basic plot of the movie?
No, you're not wrong, but that's not what you sell the movie on.
I'm telling you, this is what you're going to get when you watch it.
That was actually there was controversy around the Blake Lively movie because they were like, oh, why is Blake Lively going on Instagram and talking about how women should wear their florals to this movie about a very serious topic? And first of all, it's a movie. And second of all, she's marketing a movie. She wants the movie to make money. You're not going to make money by being like, come see this depressing domestic abuse movie in theaters. Go see this sad movie about a woman and a toxic relationship. That movie makes $10 million at best. Whereas, Blake Lively being like, hey, it's a girls' night out. See this fun movie I made. Have like drinks at the movie and stuff like that. That movie makes $120 million and becomes like a savior to cinemas. So I think Blake Lively did everything right here. I don't understand why audiences are like, how dare you disrespect this fictitious woman?
All right, sidebar, most depressing movie ever. NickLayLaw.com, talk and text line 414-799-1973. I'll put A Marriage Story up there as one of them. 1,000 Acres as well is a terribly depressing, slow boat to nowhere movie.
Yeah, what's the war movie? There's the famous one of like the kid and it's
1912 or 1913, whatever that World War I movie was.
It's older than that. If you there's a Serbian film,
just a straight depressing movie. Leaving Las Vegas. There's another one right there.
A Dog's Purpose.
A Dog's Purpose is actually deeply depressing.
Really?
Those dogs. Do you remember
it's
like
about doggos dying, right?
I think The Dog's Purpose is the one where the dog keeps dying over and over again and getting reincarnated.
Maybe that's not the right one.
No.
What's the one where the dog dies?
I think that's most of the movies. If a
dog, I know. Oh, Marley and Me. It's not that dog. Marley and Me.
Marley
and Me. Straight ball.
I worked at the movie theater when Marley and Me came out on Christmas. That was a Christmas release.
That sucked.
Merry Christmas, kids. Here's what happens when your dog goes over the Rainbow Bridge and dies.
It was wild. All these families coming in there being like, "Wow, happy Christmas, everyone. We're going to go see Marley and Me. Owen Wilson and a puppy. It's going to be a great time."
I'm watching it on an airplane.
Yeah, every family heartbroken walking out of that movie. The worst Christmas ever.
I'm flying over the ocean somewhere, and it just tears.
The boy in the striped pajamas, says Brian and Madison. A man called Otto, says Brent.
That one's pretty.
Schindler's List. Duh.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame, says Dan in Elkhorn.
United 93. That's a depressing, sad movie. That's the 9/11 one.
Okay.
That hits.
How about watching Cuba Gooding Jr.'s effective career end in the movie Radio? That was depressing because I like that guy.
I thought Radio was a good movie, though.
I watched it going, yep, you're done now. Okay.
More money for him.
Was Boat Trip pre or post?
Boat Trip was pre.
Okay.
But Boat Trip, you could just go, okay, so he took the money for a silly movie that, he probably would regret.
But there was also Snow Dogs too. Man, the Cuba Gooding Jr. post-Oscar career is just a tremendous case of having the worst agent in the world.
Let's see. Old Yeller,
says
the barrister. Richard Jewell, The Green Mile. Wonderful movie, but so sad.
Requiem for a Dream would be up there.
Okay. It's called A Dog's Journey. Tim in Milwaukee.
Is that the one where the dog just keeps dying over and over again and getting reincarnated? They sold the movie with that, and they were like, "This is going to be inspirational. That the dog keeps dying and coming back to this family."
Was it Kenny?
Yeah, it was the soul of Kenny had infected this dog from South Park.
All right, how about Platoon?
Yeah, that's up there.
I don't think anything compares with Marley and Me, though.
What do you think, shifting gears real quick on the way out, and you've got a banger coming up here, but what do you think of the Netflix foray into the short documentary genre with their Untold Stories series, the latest of which, Connor Stallions, which is a very one-sided thing because a lot of people didn't talk for that documentary, and it's Stallions spinning even more wild lies about what he did or didn't do.
Yeah, I think the Untolds can be the best of that kind of bunch. They have a Steve McNair one too. I think Hope Solo. Obviously, that was the Johnny Manziel as well. I think some of those can be really good. I'm very skeptical of a lot of the sports docs nowadays, like the quarterback and receiver Netflix shows, docs,
because they've become promotional vehicles for the subjects they're supposedly.
It's all branding.
portraying.
It is not people being like, let's find good stories to share and follow these stories. It's become these guys want to promote a brand. These guys want to promote who they are. And it's no longer, like I said, it's no longer about finding a fascinating story to follow. So
the other thing
is a bummer.
The other thing is 30 for 30s go for the really big, really powerful stories that are worthy of a full effort.
Yes.
The Untold Stories nip at the next tier where you're like, yeah, people should probably know about Hope Solo and her troubled off the field stuff while she was part of the national team, but it really is not 30 for 30 worthy.
No, and you can feel them rushed too, where we really want to be the first documentary about Connor Stallions, which is why they didn't get the best interviews.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. All right, very good. Stay tuned. Banger rejoin. Have you found one, do you think?
I have found my first Thursday banger, and I think it bangs.
Yeah, I think
let's
it bangs
go.
Too.
Matt Miller's Banger rejoin coming up next, plus whatever we missed today. You're listening to Czabe and Butch in the Morning on the Game. Yee. Better start banging quick.
It's building. We're going to Six Flags.
I mean, I'm doing the Running Man right now, and I don't even know why I'm doing it. I just feel like I have to do it.
I have caused accidents on the freeway playing this song.
Wow. Who do we got?
This is the Venga Boys with We Like to Party. The Venga Bus, because the Venga Bus is coming. It's going to take you to Six Flags Great America.
God.
It was really...
I've never heard this song before in my life. When was this big? Never.
You've not?
Oh, I've heard it. It's not good, but I've heard it.
You didn't see the commercial for Six Flags with the not 85-year-old man dancing?
I don't recall it. The nearest Six Flags is the one in Gurnee, correct?
Gurnee,
yes. Yeah.
Is there another one in the state of Wisconsin or no?
No.
That is in Gurnee. Okay.
And when you were in middle school, that was the dream destination.
Oh yeah, you would go get the coach bus. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Coach bus.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
Well, it was also a lot farther than where you guys were going.
That's true. You probably needed a little extra.
You needed quite the trip for Butchie and company. Yeah, you needed a Venga bus.
It was a trip. About 2.5 hours.
Tell me about this group and this song.
They are the Venga Boys. This was a popular Euro pop. You can call it Euro trash if you want to. In the golden age of like Aqua and like the A-Teens and all that stuff. They are no longer. Apparently, they are still active, which can't be accurate. They're from the Netherlands. Their other hit song was "Boom Boom Boom Boom," and this was the most successful hit, topping the chart in Flanders, according to Wikipedia.
Which is Flanders?
I think Flanders, England, or something like that.
Okay.
From Rotterdam, the Netherlands.
Yeah.
2 guys, 2 gals. Kim Sassabone, Denise Post Van Ryswick, Robin Pors, and Donnie Latupacera.
Yeah.
You got it.
The Venga Boys.
This was the classic era of these like Euro bands that only knew 3 sentences in English, and then they put them into a song over a great beat.
We like to party.
We like the Venga bus is coming. That's all they needed. And
so
then,
what?
Yeah.
What year is this again?
1998.
Okay.
But it became really popular with the Six Flags ads. That was the big thing because they had this dancing old man who looked like he was. They did add a lady at some point too, who looked like they were like 111 years old.
I was thinking 120.
This song, according to song BPM, 136 beats per minute. Very happy song.
Yeah, it is.
High energy.
Absolutely.
Very danceable.
Heck yeah.
It's all the banger lyrics, but is it really a banger? That'll be up to you to decide on our Twitter account or the Twitter account set up called Banger Review. I'm sure it's already up. We'll make sure to retweet it. Vote now. See how it comes out. Luddy, did your banger win yesterday?
I was looking good. I'm looking right now.
It was looking
Go to
positive.
Banger Review and check it out. In the meantime, don't forget Banger Rejoin brought to you by Fairways of Woodside in Sussex, the banger golf course. Best bang for your buck, best golf course, great greens and bentgrass fairways. The mayor of Divot City, Rob McDonald, make sure everyone has an absolutely fun time out at Fairways. Go there today and play. Book your tee time by going online at fairwaysofwoodside.com.
We had a winner. I won 66-34 with Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons, December 1963. Oh, what a night.
Have you seen Matt Mueller, the Frankie Valli videos coming out of Vegas now in his 90s, looking terrible and animatronic, as if he still owes some loan shark in Vegas money?
Even worse.
He's paying it off concert by concert in his 90s. It's not good.
Even worse than the Clint Eastwood Jersey Boys movie?
Possibly
That's a pretty depressing footage right there.
That's a depressing movie. Glenn Ross is a depressing movie.
Come and See. That was the war movie I was trying to think of.
Yes. 9.5 Weeks, starring a young Kim Basinger, was a very depressing and weird movie with Mickey Rourke.
There's a great documentary called Dear Zachary that is guaranteed to just punch your soul. So
I'm good.
Highly recommended.
Yeah.
God,
Deer Hunter was also not a very happy movie, as I recall.
Oh, hilarious comedy. Great musical comedy adventure.
Gunsumao. Gunsumao.
Take your kids.
Gunsumao. No boots, Tosh. No boots. Okay. Mr. Mueller, as always, a pleasure. Thank you for coming in, and good luck on your banger today.
Oh, an honor, guys. Thanks for having me.